Ayo Risejafo now joins me from Warri, Delta State. Good to see you, Pastor Ayo Risejafo, and thank you for joining us on This Day Live, the Sunday talk show. Well, Pastor,
thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Well, today is Ascension Day. Well, I know different countries have different days for Ascension Day, but in many parts of the world, today is Ascension Day. So it's a special day for Christians. We're in the heat of the lead up to the 2027 election. When you look around, what's your reading of the Nigerian situation? Now that the primaries have started and politicians seem to be behaving in their usual manner.
Well, my first comment here is it looks like there is a dichotomy right here. Politicians are living in one world, while the average Nigerian is living in another world. We don't seem to be in the same world, because when you look at the way politicians live, the way politicians spend money, the way the average politician does things, it's like it's a different world altogether. We are talking of election coming up next year. Does the average Nigerian really understand the implications of an election next year? Are they really following what is happening? Because most people are more concerned about their lives and about things that are happening to them every day. The problems they go through, the troubles they go through, the difficulties. I really would want to, for example, let's look at something like the loans that we keep borrowing. We keep borrowing, and it just keeps increasing every day. Now, right now, this present administration, if I'm quoting correctly, is in the debts Nigeria owes now is about 71.9 trillion naira, as against Buhari's 74.7 trillion naira in 8 years. But the present administration is just two and a half years. So you wonder and you ask yourself, what is this? And we keep borrowing. And I think I was just hearing a while ago that they're getting ready to borrow another amount of money for the coming election. So what exactly are we doing? What exactly do we want to achieve? Are we really interested in the people? Are we interested in changing lives? Are we interested in Nigeria as a nation? It bothers me very deeply, my dear brother Reuben. It bothers me. I can't understand. I'm trying my best to understand. And I think if I don't, there are many, many millions of people who also cannot understand what is happening in Nigeria. All right, again, take the health sector. I mean, listen, let's be honest with ourselves. It's a total failure. Just look at it. How many government-run hospitals are really functioning in Nigeria? How many of them? Look around the country, the whole country. A country of over 200 million people. How many hospitals run by the government are functioning the way they should function? Do we have equipment? People are suffering. But in the meantime, the average politician can just get out of Nigeria with their family. They go to Paris, they go to London, they go to US, they go anywhere, treat themselves, and then they come back home. But the poor man, the common Nigerian, the average Nigerian is suffering. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He doesn't even know if there's a better life than the life he's living right now. So it's hard to really comprehend, like I said when I started, it's like there are two lives in Nigeria. There are two groups in Nigeria. One is the political class, and then the other are the average and ordinary Nigerians that go about their lives every day. But it's pathetic. It's painful to see these things are happening. Look at education. I think from what I've learned, 18.3 million children are out of school. What are we talking about? It's a joke. Is this the life? Is this what Nigeria should be? Is this how we should live? This is totally wrong. 18.3 million children out of school? Then how many children are in school? And if they are in school, how many teachers are teaching in schools? How many students are actually being taught in schools, even those who go to school? I mean, it breaks your heart. Let's look at poverty. See, I just heard that a while ago too. 63% poverty in Nigeria. 140 million people live below poverty line in this country. And yet we're borrowing money and borrowing money and borrowing money. We're spending money. Okay, look at the coastal highway. I mean, it sounds fantastic. It sounds wonderful. But is that the priority? Or should that be the priority right now?
Okay, Pastor.
With all these problems on ground? Yes.
Pastor, we're in the era of renewed hope. And I always say on this platform that the whole basis of Christian eschatology is to give the people hope. And now every day the government talks about renewed hope. But you sound pessimistic, Pastor. I mean, I thought you should be preaching hope to the people to buy into this renewed hope agenda. At a time when the people say, oh, they are in poverty and the situation is not encouraging. But I thought you will preach hope instead of sounding despondent.
Well, my very good brother and friend, hope is built on something, not on nothing. Now, what kind of hope do you give to a man who cannot eat one meal a day? That it will be better tomorrow. That somehow something is going to happen and the money being borrowed, part of it will be given to him to start an agricultural project. Or what kind of hope do you want me to give to the average Nigerian who's listening to me right now? Hope is in the Bible. But hope, like I said, has to be built on something. You mentioned something now, you said renewed hope or renew hope. What do you renew here? You renew poverty as hope. You renew what do I call it now? 140 million people living below poverty line. What hope are you renewing? I think you need to have hope first before you renew the hope that you have. But I don't seem to see anything that indicates that there is a situation where there is even hope. Where is the hope? The reason Christians talk about hope is because Jesus died and he rose from the dead. Now, that automatically gives me hope that I can live in this world, and if time comes I leave this world, a day will come when I will also rise from the dead. There is hope that there is a place called heaven. Now, you started this, you told me, you talked about the church. Jesus said in John 14, he said, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. For in my Father's house there are many mansions. Many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you, so that where I am, there you will be also. Now that is hope. That is hope, my brother Reuben. But I'm wondering, what hope are we going to give to people? Not to talk of renewing it. You want to look here in Warri. I know of homes, because of the rains that are falling, where people literally in their houses. Some have built little boats, little canoes, as we call it here, with which they paddle to go to their bed when they want to sleep at night. And those who cannot make those little canoes, they have to use rain boots. They wear rain boots to go to close to their bed, sit on the bed, remove the rain boot, then you climb into your bed and sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you wear the rain boot again, and then you walk outside because the whole place is full of water. So it's difficult to talk of renewing hope, not to talk of the level of insecurity. I believe the first responsibility of any government is security and the well-being of the people. Now look at people being kidnapped every day across this nation. Like nobody runs anything. Everybody just does whatever they like. It doesn't matter what you want to do. Here in Delta State, and I know it's the same almost in every state, the other day, they almost kidnapped children from a school in the Kuala area. And a few days ago, they almost kidnapped some children also in a school in the Asaba area. So you see kidnapping every day. Lives are being lost. I sit down and I wonder how people survive in Plateau State, in Benue State, in Nasarawa State, in Niger State, in some of all these states that are in the Middle Belt area especially, even as far north as Sokoto and Kebbi State, Yobe, Bauchi, and some of these states, Katsina. Now even come to the south. Gradually, we are getting into the same situation where kidnapping is a way of life. People are paying ransom. They even pay ransom and they are still killed, even with the ransom they've paid. So I'm wondering and I'm asking myself, where is the hope? There is no hope. You need to have hope first before you can renew it.
Okay,
but I don't see anything that looks like hope.
Well, Pastor, you talked about borrowing, and I know there are many Nigerians who are saying the Nigeria's debt profile is rising and there's little to show for it. The Nigerian government is just talking to the World Bank to borrow as much as $1.5 billion to create jobs, to create opportunities. Now, the opposition does not agree. ADC says, oh, this is a Ponzi scheme. But the Nigerian government says, in fact, in terms of the room for borrowing, that we have not even borrowed enough. After all, America has between 125% to 225% GDP ratio. Japan has about 360% debt to GDP ratio. The United Kingdom has over 100% debt to GDP ratio. The debt management office in Nigeria says, well, we can still borrow more. And that in any case, when we borrow, we pay back. But you have been saying we are mounting debts and all of that. But the Nigerian government says this is for infrastructure, yes. It's for job creation, it's for opportunities for the people. So, what do you have against borrowing?
My dear brother, first of all, there is nothing wrong with borrowing, but you must borrow with a purpose, with an intention, with a plan. Now you are talking of America, you're talking of Japan. Go to these countries, you're talking of the UK. Go to these countries and see the level of life, the life that the average person, the average American is living, the life the average Japanese is living. Go around the world and see how people live. Now, again, I repeat, it's not a crime to borrow, but what are you borrowing for? You said for infrastructure. Where is the infrastructure? Look, for example, where is electricity in this country? It's almost as if what you need to do is change the name. At one time it was ECN. Then they changed to NEPA. Then they changed to PHCN. Now they are doing it region by region or something, or state by state. They give it different names, as if it's just changing the names. So my point is, you are borrowing to do what? You said for jobs. Which jobs? Where are the jobs? Look, I am a pastor of a church of thousands of people. I know how many people I pay rent for every month. I know how many people I have to feed, to help, to eat every month. I know how many people I pay school fees for their children to be able to go to school. I know how many people I have to help to stand and to be able to survive. I'm going through all this. I'm doing all this. I'm a pastor of a church. Are these not Nigerians? Am I not a Nigerian? It's difficult to understand now. So you borrow all this money for, you say, for infrastructure, for development, for this, for. Please, Ruben, could you point at some of these developments? Could you point at some of the things that have been done? Because this is not the first amount. You just talked about 1-point-something billion now to be borrowed for. I thought it was even for election. Now you just said it's for development, it's for jobs. All the ones that have been borrowed, what have we used them for? Now, subsidy was removed. Where is the money for subsidy that was removed? What is it being used for? Now you are borrowing, you have removed subsidy. So I'm sitting here and I'm asking myself, what is it for? Now you must have a good reason for borrowing, because whatever you borrow must produce results. So Ruben, I'm sitting here and I'm looking for what I can say money has been used for. Borrowing, and now getting ready to borrow again. And we have a National Assembly that in hours they will approve anything that needs to be borrowed, any amount. They just borrow and keep borrowing. Ruben, please, I am not happy, and I suspect that most Nigerians are not happy. It is my responsibility to speak truth to power. I have to say things that have to be said. Lives of people have not improved at all.
Okay,
I was
Pastor,
trying to even talk about security. Yes, please.
Pastor, okay, yes. You are running a program that is called Manna with Pastor Risa Jaffa. Yes. Now, okay, my own understanding of manna is about, blessing from above. And you call it a time of refreshing. And yet, on television, where is that manna going to come from? So that Nigerians can experience a sense of refreshing that you talk about. Because I thought when you talk about refreshing, it's about hope. So if you could just, explain the context.
First of all, when we talk of manna, we are talking about a spiritual thing. Manna was the food that God gave to Israel that came down from heaven. God doesn't do exactly that anymore. That is why we have a government. That is why the government should provide physical food for people. So the manna we talk about is the spiritual food that we give to people to give them strength, to make them still want to live. Do you know how many people commit suicide in this country every day? People are killing themselves because they have no hope. We are not even talking about renewing anything. They don't even have hope. And some can't even stand it and they kill themselves. So the manna we are talking about is basically spiritual. It's the Word of God. And the Word of God is what gives people that spiritual hope to still believe that God will make a way for them. But in the meantime, what about the government? What about the government? They should be accountable to the people. So what are they doing for these people? How are they making their lives better? How are they improving their lives? What are they doing to make life better for them? Look at what is happening to Nigerians in South Africa. Look at what is happening to Nigerians in even Ghana here. Why are all these things happening? Oh, you may say it's not only Nigerians, but other people. Well, I'm a Nigerian, and I'm concerned because I'm a Nigerian. Now, how do you renew what doesn't exist? There is no hope, at least as at now, as far as physical things, as far as government helping its people. There is nothing to hold on to. So the manna that I have, or the program I call manna, is a name. And like I said, in the Old Testament, if you look at the book of Exodus, you will see that that manna was manna that came from heaven, with which God fed the nation of Israel. First of all, I'm not God. Fortunately, we have a government. I didn't run for any office. I am here in the church. Now, I can tell you this. From time to time, I buy a number of kekes. I buy mini buses. I buy all kinds of things that I buy and give to my people. In fact, there are some right in front of my office right now that I just gave out recently. And I'm doing all this, but I'm not government. And yet there is a government, or there are governments. There are state governments, there are local governments, but there is also the federal government, the government that oversees all other governments. Everything, in my own opinion, emanates from them. If they show the right example and do the right things, hopefully most of these state governments, local governments will also imitate it and begin to do the right thing. So I should not be the one to provide food. I was preaching one Sunday and I saw a lady and her baby. I was preaching literally, and they came to the altar, knelt down. When I looked at the baby this woman was carrying, I thought the child was dead. I stopped preaching. And we have a small clinic in our church here where we try to treat people as much as we can because they have nowhere to go. So I have a little clinic here. So I stopped preaching and I asked someone, please take this woman and that child to the clinic, which they did. At the end of the service, they told me that nothing was wrong with that child that I thought was dead, but that it was just malnutrition and lack of food. The woman was almost dead herself. She can't even breastfeed the child because there's no milk in her body when she hasn't eaten any food. So what I had to do was to buy food for her and buy some food also for her to help to feed her child. And these are things that we are doing, some of us at least are trying to do to help. But we are saying that government is government for the well-being of the people.
Okay.
What is the government doing to change people's lives?
Okay, Pastor, I get your point.